Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to explore a common concern that many people have. On this first slide, we see a therapist reacting with, "I am too boring for other people." This sets the stage for our discussion. In this presentation, we'll look into feelings of self-doubt, how they impact us, and ways to overcome them. I'm glad you're here, and I look forward to sharing some insights with you. We often hear people say, "I'm just too boring for others." But what's really going on here? Beneath that quiet insecurity, there's something deeper than just social awkwardness or a lack of charisma. It's about how we perceive ourselves and how that perception shapes our interactions. Sometimes, it's not about being boring at all, but about feeling disconnected from our own confidence. This slide highlights an important idea for today's talk, that insecurities can mask underlying issues that go beyond surface-level social skills. Understanding this helps us recognize that building genuine confidence is key to changing how others perceive us and how we see ourselves. It's the disconnection from intuition, that inner voice or feeling that tells us who we are and where we're meant to go. Many of us have learned to quiet or ignore this part of ourselves over time, often because of external pressures or doubts. But what's really important to understand is that this intuition is a vital part of our self-awareness. When we're in tune with it, we have a clearer sense of direction and purpose. So, in this part of the presentation, I want to explore what it truly means to reconnect with that inner knowing and how doing so can transform our lives. It's about understanding how this disconnection impacts us and learning to listen again to that guiding inner voice. When we talk about intuition, it's important to understand that it's not simply a warm, fuzzy feeling. Sometimes, we might think that intuition should make us feel comfortable or special, but that's not really the case. True intuition often feels a bit unsettling or even uncomfortable. It's more like a call to courage, urging us to face something difficult or uncertain. As Caroline Myss points out, intuition isn't about fantasy or daydreams. It's about that inner voice that pushes us beyond our comfort zone. Recognizing this helps us understand that trusting our intuition requires bravery, not just a desire to feel good. This idea links directly to our overall theme, developing genuine self-awareness and trusting ourselves, even when it's uncomfortable. That discomfort, that uneasy stirring in your gut, is actually your deeper self trying to guide you toward the truth. And that truth, even if it's uncomfortable or disruptive to your current comfort zone, is really important for growth. You see, fantasy, or that desire to stay in a safe, predictable place, often flatters the ego. It keeps us feeling good and secure. But intuition, on the other hand, challenges that ego. It nudges us toward what we really need to pay attention to, even if it's hard. Now, if you often find yourself feeling boring, that might be a sign that you've traded that discomfort, the signals from your intuition, for predictability. Maybe you silence those instincts because you're afraid of risk, rejection, or change. Over time, what happens? Your life can start to feel flat or dull. But it's important to realize you're not dull at all. The real reason is that your intuition has gone unheard. And that's something we can work on, because reconnecting with that inner voice is key to living a more authentic and fulfilling life. When intuition strikes, it often feels like a burst of energy inside you, like a pulse or a charge in your body that's telling you, "Do something now." Myss describes this as a battery plugged into your gut, a steady throb that tends to get louder at night, urging you to take action. It's that inner nudge that's alive, dynamic, and ready to move you forward. Now contrast that with fantasy. Fantasy can feel like an emotional escape, a daydream where you envision connection, success, or purpose. But here, the key, those dreams often stay in your head, and they don't necessarily translate into real change. They're nice to imagine, but they lack the power to propel you into action. The critical difference is that intuition always brings movement, synchronicity, and alignment when you follow it. It's about action and real shifts. If you're feeling stuck or invisible, it might be because you're confusing fantasy with intuition. You're imagining change, but you're not actually acting on it. And remember, intuition only gets stronger when you move, when you take that step, even a small one. That's how it fuels growth and transformation. Many people struggle to clearly hear their intuition because they're still emotionally attached to their past experiences. Unforgiveness, regret, and resentment create what I like to call an internal fog. This fog acts like a protective chaos that prevents us from seeing the next step clearly. Myss explains that this chaos isn't a punishment, it's actually a form of healing. The problem is, your intuition can't give you clear guidance about tomorrow if you're still energetically living in yesterday. Until you release the weight of old stories and emotional baggage, your intuition will keep whispering the same message. Let go. So, when you feel stuck or uninspired, don't think of yourself as boring or lacking personality. It's not about you. It's about the emotional clutter you're carrying that blocks that natural flow of intuition. Recognizing this is a key step toward clarity and growth. Let's talk about intuition for a moment. Many people think of intuition as a kind of crystal ball that predicts the future. But the truth is, that's not what intuition is really for. Instead, intuition acts as a compass for the present moment. Its job is to guide us as we make decisions right now, helping us set the right course so that the outcomes we want in the future can naturally unfold. When we follow these intuitive nudges, something interesting happens. Life starts to synchronize. The right people seem to appear just when we need them, doors open effortlessly, and we begin to feel more confident. Confidence that comes from genuine alignment with ourselves, not from trying to perform or impress. And that authentic alignment is what truly makes someone magnetic. It's not about being flashy or trying to stand out artificially. It's about being in tune with who you are, and that authenticity naturally draws others in. So remember, intuition is a guide for today, helping us create a future that feels right, rather than a prediction tool for what's to come. So, as Myss emphasizes, when you get an intuitive hunch, it often nudges you toward taking the most outrageous path in your life. And the key here is to actually take it. This might sound surprising, but it's usually the right move. Now let's talk about what intuition really is. It doesn't speak in cold, logical words. Instead, it communicates through a sense of truth, deep, authentic truth that can sometimes push us into the unfamiliar, into the unknown. That's where real growth happens. Many of us shy away from the unknown because it feels uncomfortable or even scary. But feeling boring or stuck is often just a sign that we're playing it safe. And safety, while comforting, isn't where we find true aliveness. It's in following our intuition, even when it terrifies us, that we rediscover depth, emotion, and presence. And that's where our real charisma begins. It's in those bold, sometimes outrageous steps that we unlock our full potential and truly connect with ourselves and others. So, trust that instinct, take that leap, and embrace the growth that follows. Final thought. You are not boring. That's an important point to remember. Often, we might think we're dull or uninteresting, but really, it's not about that. It's about being disconnected from the deeper pulse of our intuition. And what does that mean? It means we're not tuning into that inner voice that knows what's true for us. That part of us that dares to act, to speak, and to live authentically. Your intuition doesn't require perfection. It doesn't ask for you to be flawless or always right. What it asks for is courage, the courage to listen and to follow through. And when you do start trusting it, you'll notice something remarkable. The world begins to respond differently to you. People sense that authenticity, that bravery in your actions and words. So my final message is, follow your intuition. Let it guide you boldly, and watch how your life transforms.